Hello everyone, Denise here. Today I'm going to do a little crafting, if you will. I'm going to be using some yarn to create some redoing of vintage Christmas ornaments that my grandmother had made us. So I just have a few things on the table here. It depends on what you have around your house or what you're willing to go out and purchase. So I'll start with the two in the middle of the table here because those I have. The other one, I don't know where a couple of them are. I think some of them broke. So these are some my grandmother made for my children over the years. They are made with things that you can find around your house pretty easily if you are a sewer or crafter. So yarn obviously is one requirement on these, and then she used sequins, which I don't have sequins, I don't think, and push pins she used, and felt, and glue obviously. But I thought because we have way more items that we can pick from to craft with now. So I thought I would sort of give a little rundown of what you might have on hand at your house that would work for these ornaments. Of course, many things will work for them. So if you have things and you're looking at this like, I know that will work for that, go ahead and use it. I just thought I would take a more modern take on the things that we could use on ornaments like this. And I'm not saying that what my grandmother did is bad by any means, because I love them and I have been keeping them for decades. But we have more things at our disposal that we could use to make ornaments from. So I thought, why not give some ideas to do this? You could do this with your grandkids, your kids, your whatever like group of kids that you take care of. If you're a teacher, and you could do this at school, as long as it's age appropriate. You know, just whatever people you want to do this with. Maybe you just want to do it yourself. I just thought I would throw some ideas out there to do something quick and easy for the season. So my grandmother obviously used things at her disposal. She used push pins and sequins and felt, the styrofoam balls and spools, and of course yarn. But I mean, we still have all those things, right? So if you wanted to replicate what my grandmother did, you sure can. I'm going to give you some ideas on things that, I mean, I just plucked it out of my stash of things. So there's probably tons of things at your disposal in your own home, or that you'd want to maybe go seek out and find to make these, or something similar. I am going to start with just the head, with a little dress. And this is an ornament. This is one of the ornaments my grandmother had made my children. She always made them one each, and they would go on top of their presents. So this one is really simple. You don't need a lot for this one. Some sort of styrofoam head, or if you have something that would work similarly to the styrofoam head, eyes, nose, a little hat, and then something to hang it by, since it's an ornament. She just used yarn and felt and the styrofoam, sequins, push pins, little felt for the nose, and then a little bit of yarn for the dress or body. I guess it could be, it doesn't have to be a dress. So you would take whatever yarn that you want, and you know, scrap yarn would be great for this because then you'll have a use for it. If you wanted to make the body a pom-pom, that would work too. This is an extreme example, but it's one I had on hand. This is Premier Vivid yarn, and it's a pom-pom that I made with Premier Vivid. And you could take this could be the body, and then you could just do the head on top and decorate the head and make a little hat, a cutesy hat. This would be a little heavier for the tree, but it'd be a darn cute ornament on a present for sure. And then something just to sit in a home to be decorative, because it's a big pom-pom, it can sit. So that's just an idea. So there's going to be a lot of takes on these things. So I'm going to show you a couple ideas for eyes. And we all know that we have our eyes, right, from our amigurumi. So we could use them definitely and just poke them in. Gluing them would probably be best if you want them to stay, because they're not very long. They're not going to go long into the styrofoam. I feel like I had a couple sitting up here that did not have backs, and they would be the good ones to use, the ones that you don't have backs for anymore. Anyway, another idea. These are from Joanne, and you can purchase them. I think it had 2 or 3 on it, 2 or 3 different types on it. These are beads or a cap to a bead, and they're round, and you could use push pins or like the jewelry findings that I make stitch markers out of. Those, so let me grab one of them. You could still use a felt nose, but if you wanted to, you could use one of these or a push pin with a bead. That would work as well. So I'm gonna put some eyes on this, and if I had glue near me, I would be putting glue on it, because I highly doubt this is gonna stay in. And my styrofoam ball is pretty large, so compared to my mother's ornament, wow, that's way bigger. But that's what I have at home. Like I didn't go out and purchase anything for this. This is literally stuff that I pulled out of my DIY stash just to give you some ideas. Here's 2 eyes. And then for a nose, like I said, you could use one of those jewelry findings and string a bead on it, and that would make a cute nose. You could use one of these baby pom-poms that you can get in craft kits for a nose. You could also use one of these, and these are another thing that I use to make stitch markers with. And you could just push that simply straight through for a nose. Pretty cute already. And then a hat would be great. So I thought for hats, obviously you can use felt if you have felt. Felt is very cheap. You can buy it at the Dollar Tree. I got a whole entire roll of the felt at Dollar Tree. A huge roll for $1. And then this is from the Dollar Tree. It's a piece of fabric, and they come rolled up as well. And they are very large. This is still folded in half. You could use one of those and just cut out a piece. I was gifted these squares, and they're from Walmart. You could cut out a piece to make a hat out of that. And then I thought you could crochet a hat as well, because wouldn't that be adorable? So you would start like you would any other hat. And I usually do mine from the top down. So if you did one from the top down, you would, let me grab some yarn. This is from Dollar Tree. This is just yarn. This is from Premier. This is the color Rose. Hats for a tiny styrofoam head would be very quick to make. So let's make one. What does this call for? This is 109 yards, 100 meters, 1.76 ounces, 50 grams. It is 100% acrylic. It's a medium weight 4. Doesn't matter what weight you would want to use. Because you could use any weight. The way I do my top-down hats, any weight, any yarn will work. By the way, the Just yarn is just amazing. I love this stuff. I bought 11 colors in the very big ones that they sell on their website. Excellent yarn. Excellent. Okay. Did I say what it called for? Because I don't remember. Nope. An eye hook. So an I hook, I'm probably going to use an H hook just because I want it to be a little tighter. So clover H. I'm going to zoom out a bit so you can see my mess. So we would start with a magic circle or a chain 4 and join in your first chain. Magic circle. Rearrange in my hand. Chain 1 to secure. You probably do what? 8 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Cinch. Slip stitch to your beginning, single crochet there. 2 single crochet in each stitch, chain 1, 2 in the first. Two in each round. Slip stitch to your first single crochet. Chain 1, 2 single crochet in the first space, 1 single crochet in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2, 1, all the way around. I'm going to repeat that. Slip stitch to your beginning, single crochet. I think that would be big enough. I'm going to check though. How you will check, you're going to measure the diameter of your circle. Got 2 inches there. We need to know the circumference of the head that you are covering. It is 6, about 6 inches. Someone took off with my calculator, or I lost it. I probably lost it. So you would take your measurement here times pi 3.142, and whatever that came up with would be the circumference of the head that you're going to fit. My styrofoam head is 6 inches. 2 times 3.142 is a little over 6 inches. We are aces. So I'm going to quit increasing here. If you wanted to keep increasing, next round you would do the 2 in the first stitch, and then 1, and then 1, and then 2, and then the round after that you would do 2, and then 1, 1, 1, and 2, just like you would on any other hat. But right now I'm just going to continue working 1 single crochet in each stitch until I get a little bit over the styrofoam part of the head so that it could be a hat for this head. So I'm going to zoom through this and I'll meet back up with you in just a second here. Okay, so I could stop here, or I could do more. I think it's good though. Maybe one more round. Okay, I think we're good there. I'm gonna cut the yarn. Need to make it a pom-pom. So my grandmother's pom-pom is kind of just floofy. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and copy my grandma's lead there and do a floofy one, except I think I'm gonna add just a little bit of chenille, the Just Chenille Premier Yarns. This is 65 yards, 60 meters, 1.76 ounces, 50 grams. This is 100% polyester. It's a super bulky 6. Just a smidge of it, really just a tiny, tiny bit. Pom-pom doesn't need to be very large on this because it's a tiny hat. So I'm just going to take some of the pink, just a tiny bit of pink. A tiny bit of the chenille. Show you what I'm going to do. A length, let's see, I got about a foot here of both. I'm going to cut a foot off of each very simply. If you have something to wind it around, go ahead. I'm going to wind it around my fingers because I always have them, at least hopefully I do. And then I am going to cut a piece of rose. Put it around that piece that I just created with my fingers. Set it on top. This is very difficult with the camera in front of me. Not complaining, just explaining. And tie pretty tight, as tight as I can. And then do another tie. Then I'm going to, just like with a regular one, scoop my stuff up here. I'm going to snip the loops. Gonna clean it up a bit. Not too much, you know, it's supposed to be whimsical. Make sure all my loops are cut. Wrap it on my leg a little bit to get some of this fuzz off. Because it's very fuzzy because of the chenille. And that's okay. Chenille would do that when you cut it. It kind of cattails, it poofs. Okay, get rid of my mess here. Tiny but charming pom-pom. I'm gonna weave in my ends to my hat, pull through. This needle is quite large, but I will use it. I was noticing, this is bent, look at that. Crazy. probably need glue to keep this on the head of your styrofoam. Or, if you're lucky, just the tie through the body and hanging it will keep it on. Styrofoam does have a great tendency to cling and catch, like Velcro kind of. So it could stay there. Okay, that's good enough. It's not like someone's going to wash this. It's just going to hang, so it doesn't have to be perfectly woven in, but I can tell you just from habit of doing this, it's hard to not do it all the way. And so it's a magic circle. So I want to make sure I go this way and then back the other way so it doesn't come loose. I've heard people complain about that. Not to me, but just in general, that their magic circle comes loose. I've never had that problem. But I'm also very paranoid about the ends coming out. So I go the extra mile usually with that. Okay, got our hat. Put that adorable pom-pom on it because we left the tail. So we need our crochet hook. Even a smaller one would work because I cinched this pretty good. Yep, I'm gonna need a smaller one. Grabbing a wee crochet hook up here, putting it through the hat. I'm gonna try to grab both loops here and pull back through. And success. Now I'm going to tie a couple of knots here. I think I'll tie a bow just to make sure it doesn't come out. Let's pretend like someone yanked on this. We don't want it to come out, so we have more work. So I'm going to tie it into a bow, like that. And then I'm going to tie the bow into a knot. Did you do that when you were a kid? So your laces wouldn't come undone? Me too. Okay, we have our adorable hat. Now we need to make a body or a dress, whatever you want to call it, just like this. So we need a length of yarn, and we need to do what we just did with our pom-pom, except we're gonna make it a long pom-pom. So I'm gonna take some pink. I am going to, I want to wrap it around something. A jewelry container. A little jewelry container that I got. I was gifted this by Lisa in one of my swaps. I'm just going to wrap it around this. The sticker did not come from Lisa, that came from Temu. And you can purchase them too. It's like a ton of knitting stickers for $1.50 or something. You can get crochet ones too. I just ended up getting knitting that day. I don't know how big of a body I want. I'm just wrapping. Looking in contrast to my grandma's, that's probably enough. I did not count, so if you did, thank you. Let me know. So I could do a really long body like this. I could cut it both sides and have a really, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cut here and here and go through here and have a nice plump body. So how I'm going to do that is with bigger scissors. That's how. I can cut my yarn on this side. I'm going to take a length of the pink to wrap around the body. Pretty long, over a foot I have here, because I need to go through the head to hang up my ornament. So I'm going to put my scissor in one side and cut, still holding it in my hand, gently turning it, coming over here, and I'm going to cut this end of loops. Pretty successful. I missed some though. I'm gonna lay it down on my string, right in the center, a bundle of sticks here, and I am going to tie as tight as I possibly can. And not only that, I'm gonna tie it again. And then I'm gonna turn it, switch the yarn in my hand, and tie it again. And then I think I may turn it upside down, reverse the tie spot, and tie it again. Ugh, this is very strong yarn. Okay. I'm going to shake it out a little bit. Get all the loose fuzzies off. You can trim that up if you want. I'll decide if I want to in a moment. Now I need a long needle. I'm going to cut this end off so it matches the other end. I'm going to put the hat on the girl's head. That should go through it. Threading both yarn ends on. Setting where I want it to come up through. I think right there is good. Angle it a bit more so it gets closer to the pom-pom. I'm going to tie that. Several times. I'm going to move one of the strings over. I feel like it's not going to hang quite straight. I'm going to dip the needle down in over to the other side. Grab one of the loops of the hat. There we go. Now I'm going to tie a hang here so I can hang on the tree. I'm going to tie it with one knot, reverse the yarn in my hand so that it will stay, and then make a bow. And then tie a knot in that bow. I'm going to cut the ends a little bit. I'll hang it on my light so you can see it. She does have a couple of fuzzies there that I'd like to get rid of. Little stragglers or whatever they're called. Otherwise, I think she looks good. Her rustic, charming self. Okay, I'm going to hang this one up. There she is. You could put a little grin on her if you want to. It's up to you. My grandma did not do that. No mouth on my grandma's one. So, that's comparing the two. I'll hang my grandma's up too. Okay, so side by side. Not bad. Obviously mine's larger because that's what I had to work with. But you can make it any size you want. Any way it works. You can see the yellowing of my grandma's because it's older. The styrofoam has yellowed just a little bit. But it's very old, so styrofoam lasts forever. So I will continue on with the next one that's using a spool. All right, for this little guy, obviously the spool is the center of the body. And then we have yarn as the arms and legs. Got a styrofoam head, and then felt hat, felt mouth, felt rosy cheeks, and then we have sequins for eyes, nose, and push pins to keep them in. So if we're gonna go the same kind of route, I'm looking for yarn. So okay, so I have some green. Green is called Pine. Same yarn. Premier Just yarn. Got it at Dollar Tree. It is a hunter green, or as it says, pine. So this needs a lot of yarn. It looks like it needs quite a bit. It's ran through the spool, through the center of the spool. See that? Can you see that? No, you can. It's ran through the center. It's separated for arms and legs. So I need 2 long sections of yarn for that. Oh, I see what she did. Genius. The yarn's not ran through the spool. The yarn is laying like this. This is the length of yarn. She has it circled there and tied with the yarn. So it doesn't actually go through the body. That's very, very smart. Okay, so we need 2 lengths of yarn that, well, I mean, somewhat that wide. My head is larger, so I don't want it to be comically stupid looking. It is going to be larger though, so he'll probably end up sitting in my craft room here because I think he's way too big to put on, I'm gonna go a little longer because mine is bigger. He's too large to put on the tree is what I'm saying. So I'm gonna do a length of about, I don't know, 8 inches or so. I'm gonna wrap it around something. It's like I would a pom-pom. My goodness, I have nothing around me. I do have a stitch marker holder, so I'm going to use it. I will do it off camera because it's noisy. So I'll be back to you with my 2 lengths of yarn. I'm just going to wrap it and wrap it and wrap it and wrap it. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have some lengths of yarn here. She snipped the ends and then she tied them with white to define like feet from legs. Same with the hands, so I will do that. I need to find some white yarn. All right, got some Premier Basics here. This is worsted weight yarn, 359 yards, 328 meters, 7 ounces, 200 grams, 100% acrylic. Just white is the color. I don't need a lot. I'm just gonna snip off some. Got a good length here in case I need more. Okay, so I'm gonna tie the middle first, and I'm just gonna use a section of green that I had cut off. To tie it in the middle to keep it sort of, you know, ready to use, so to speak. I don't want it to get all floaty around on me, so I'm gonna secure the middle first. Just like if we were doing a pom-pom, you know. I'm gonna tie it nice and tight. I'm gonna gather up the ends here like that. And then I'm going to take my white and I'm going to tie it around that before I cut it, because I think that would be easier than trying to cut it once it's poofed out. Tied a bow in hers. Pulling the yarn so it straightens out a bit. Snip this end. Cutting the loops. I'm going to trim that so it's a little more like my grandma's. So as to not make a mess, I'm going to do it over here off camera or with garbage. One side is done. I'm going to do the other the same way. Legs are done. I'm going to do the arms the same way. All right, arms and legs are done, which includes hands and feet. So now we have the spool. Since knowing my discovery, I do know that I need to take the top and the bottom off of this. This is a really old spool that I believe was in my stash when I purchased my spool holder. You know, it goes to the wall and it has piece of wood coming out to hold the spools. I purchased mine at a rummage sale and it's very, very, very old. The spool was on there, so top, bottom clear now. I do know that pretty much she ran the thread through the legs, up through the body, around the arms, and then up through the head, through the hat. So we need to make the head and hat with one of the styrofoam balls. And I need to decide on a face. So I talked about the amakarami eyes, and I have those. I have these two that I could push pins through. I kind of want to do this. Let's take a look. Let's see what it looks like if I use push pins or sewing needles to do this, because I feel like it'd be cute, but I don't know. This is a sewing kit that I got from Walmart. It is the Pioneer Woman Sewing Kit, and they recently clearanced them. I had one by me. I no longer did. I've been cleaning to $7, which is a great deal. This comes with that. So I have dark green. What color would I want? Maybe I would do, I don't want to do red for eyes. That would be weird. My grandma did green eyes with blue push pins. So I guess I'll do green and take a look at that. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I mean, it's cute. It's cute enough. I'm going to push one of these in and see what they look like. Because I can always change my mind. It's styrofoam, right? I have a smaller one here, so I might use that for the nose. I mean, I think it's cute. I don't think you'll have rosy cheeks, but Okay, so I need to make a hat. Do I want to crochet another one? I don't think that would work for him. I think I will make him a hat. I might make him a different hat than my other girl. Oh, I think I'll just make him the same kind of hat out of the green. I want to show you how to do that. I'll just do it. I'll be right back to you. Making a pom-pom the same way as I did the pink one. So I'm going to do that in the same way, and I'll be right back to you. Threading it on my needle here, and I am going to poke it down through the top, through the head, and attach it at the base of the head so that I can worry about the body string coming up and not have to worry about the pom-pom in the process. So tied it and snipped it there, and now I'm going to attach the body. The spool is not white, it's a cream color. So I kind of want to cover it in the felt so that the body matches the head. And I do have the felt from Dollar Tree here, so I could cover it in the felt. I would need a touch of glue to do this. But essentially you would just wrap it around and cut it off and then glue it to it. Okay, so I lost some footage somewhere along the way. So the bottom, the legs, I took a really long piece of yarn. This is a good 18 inches. I went through the middle here of the legs. And this is not nearly as much as the legs on my guy that I did, but essentially went in the center of them, and I think I showed this. I held it like this. I wrapped the white around there and made the feet. Let me grab him. That's how I made the feet. And then the part that I lost was me getting the two long ends together here, and I snipped them so they were at the same length. And then I put them on the needle. And the way my grandmother did it was to get the legs on the spool, she went up through like this. Obviously there's not enough yarn here, but if there was as much as that, it would sit nice on the legs like that. Then once you have the arms, which you can tie your arms separately, and I'm pretty sure I did. But if you don't want to tie them separately, you could put it on here on the spool. Take that same thread from the bottom that you put up through the middle and tie it with that. Just like that. I tied it a few times. It tied it really tight. I don't want to do that to this because the spool still has thread on it and I will need to use it. Then I took the needle again, put the yarn back through it, And with that, I took the head and I threaded it through the head and pulled it tight up here. So the head sits on here, and then came up through here and tied the top. So that's the footage that I lost. I hope that makes sense. If not, please send me a message. Ask in the comment section below. Whatever you need help with, let me know. I guess that will work. I'll just bring the other one around. Tie it that way. Now I need to go through my needle again. This side of the yarn. I need to go through the head. So right there where I came out with the other one, I'm gonna go in front of it so it hides it. Careful not to poke yourself. Use your table if you need to. Pliers if you need to. Through. I'm gonna tie a knot here so that it doesn't slide back out. Twice. And then we make the loop to hang it up if we're gonna hang it up. I always tie a knot and then I exchange hands and tie it again. So that knot doesn't come loose. And then I'll try to make a little bow, but I didn't leave myself a lot of room here. Just enough. Okay, and then you could decorate the front of him with whatever you wanted. I thought the little pom-poms would be cute on him. My grandma used sequins, so I actually don't think I have any sequins. So if you had different color ones of these, that'd be adorable. Like that. You could use buttons. You could glue anything on it that you wanted to. There. He's my mascot now. So yeah, I mean, you could do whatever you want. I'm gonna put him side by side with my grandma's so you can look at them. He is a big boy. Also, chenille sheds when you cut it, so just be aware of that. Thank you, buddy. You gotta sit. You gotta sit for me. I don't think I can hang him up. I don't think I have anything else. Let me find something. There we go. So my SH is really kind of like, so I'll probably take that off. So I'm going to move on to the next one. I don't have an example of my grandma's, but she made them. I just don't have one near me. So, all right. So you have a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll, and then we're just going to cut a piece off of that. You can make this as big as you want. This is the brim of your hat. Just kind of press on it a bit and then cut. You get several out of one paper roll here, toilet paper roll. That's 5 out of one toilet paper roll. We're just going to do one on camera. Okay. One of these, whatever yarn you want. I think sparkle yarn would be really cool for this. If you don't want to use like your special yarn that you haven't used before, use scraps. I am going to use what I've been using, which is white, Premier Basics, and green Just Yarn in the color Pine. So if you want to wrap your yarn around something, you sure can. Or you could just cut lengths off. They don't have to be exact because you're going to trim the top anyway, but you just want to get them around the same size. I did use my stitch marker holder for my last one. I have tons of these. So if you just want to start here and then wrap around whatever you're wrapping around for your hat, the length of yarn, which is going to give me about 12 inches. I think that'd be fine. So I'm just gonna wrap this around several times. We are making the yarn to go around the toilet paper holder, and we're gonna change colors so that it is cuter. Slide this off, and I'm just gonna cut one end. So I'm gonna cut this end because that has the 2 ends on it already. And you'll do the same with the green. You're going to take one strand at a time. You're going to fold it over like this. You're going to put it through your loop here, 2 ends through top loop, and pull up. See that? You're going to do that as many whites as you want, switch to green, switch to whatever color that you're using. But we're just going to do that over and over and over and over until we have the brim of the hat done. When you put it on there, if it's far away, just scoot them next to each other. So I'm going to repeat this. I'm probably going to change every 2 or 3 colors, or 2 or 3 strands to the green. And then once I get it full, I'll show you what to do. Once you get your strings attached, we're going to push them up through. So push them all up and through. And all to go through to the other side. Now we're going to lay our string down, or if you don't have an extra one, just snip an extra one. Decide how tall you want your hat to be. And tie real tight. Do I like the look of that? I think I might make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to reposition mine a little longer. There we go. That seems better to me. I'm going to tie that really tight, or try to anyway. Flip it over and do it to the back as well. Okay. Now we're going to take the top here and we're going to make a pom-pom out of that. Grabbing and holding it just like that, and then I'm going to start snipping. So right above here, I'm going to start snipping, and I'm going to use my big scissor to start with, and then I'll use my small one. So I'm going to use the big one to start with, and that gets rid of our large excess amount. And now I'm going to just straighten up the pom-pom with a little scissor, one of my embroidery scissor. Then I'm going to take another length of yarn. Just going to use white because it's sitting next to me. I'm going to get a crochet hook. And I'm going to poke my crochet hook down into the center of my pom-pom, making sure I don't mess anything up. Latch that on there. Pull that up, making sure just one side is pulled up for now. I'm going to tie a nice large knot around the center of that string. Starting from here to here, right around the center of the string, I'm making a large knot. Okay, that should be good enough. I'm going to drop my hook back down in. I'm going to grab this one, but not the knot. I want the knot to stay down. I'm just grabbing the other end and pulling it up through. And I'm going to pull on both gently until I know that knot is right there at the bottom of all that yarn. Then I'm going to lay it down like I've been doing. I'm going to make a tie at the top here. Just going to tie it. And I'm going to put a knot in it. I want a little bit more so I can make a bow. I'm going to take the yarn like I've been doing, and I'm going to change hands. I'm going to tie that knot again. I'm going to attempt to make a bow because I don't have a lot of end here. And all of that could be fixed by cutting a longer tie. Okay, and then you have yourself an adorable little hat with a little bit of color changing in there. Like I said, you could do a variegated yarn would be really awesome for this. Anyway, that's a great little ornament. I'll hang it up with my other ones and I'll zoom out. I do have a little crochet hat that you can make just by doing a little rectangle. And I'm sure you've made hats this way for, you know, adult sizes in real life. Essentially, you will chain as many as you want the hat to be long-wise like this, height-wise. And then I changed color every 2 row, and I carried that color change up the side. And then I cinched the top, I made a chain tie, folded the brim up, and you get to see that adorable detail of the color change of the yarn. Boom. You got another ornament. So I'm going to lift my camera up and show you everything all done. There you have it. You can see the crocheted hat on the left, and then the one we just did on the right. The crocheted one is much larger. That also would be really cute for making dolly hats or whatever. And then the one on the right fits pretty good on the top of a bottle of wine or that apple sparkling cider stuff. Yeah, it works pretty good for that. So it's a bottle topper if you want to present a present that way as well. Or you could put it on a package, a Christmas present, whatever. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know it's pretty long, but it is a process to get things all done and DIY'd. So I appreciate you. Until next time, guys, take care. Bye.